Hey guys, I'm Kailee Morgue, and you're listening to Interview Under Fire.
I'm a loser, free loader. I'm a loser, I'm a serial abuser.
And Kayla, I feel like we're not even gonna like script it anymore. We're just gonna go from here. Like I know I brought you in for an interview, and I've been looking forward to this for a while. For everyone who's listening, I'd like to welcome the exceptionally talented and rising indie all pop singer songwriter Kailee Morgue. And it's definitely an honor, Kailee, because I've been following your work since you first started, really. And shout out to Cosa Nostra and Becky and Charlie over there, because you have amazing publicists representing you, and that's who you want going forward. But this has definitely been a busy yet exciting several months here for you. With the drop of your hauntingly like magnificent singles within that 6-7 month time frame, I want to begin by commending you on all the levels of recognition these songs have been getting so far. I mean, Butterflies to Another Day in Paradise, which I think that may be my favorite out of the three, because Loser dropped recently. And now Another Day in Paradise, this is coming from a person who's been in LA for a quiet amount of time. And yes, we'll get to that. And with those music videos, they've amassed over 200,000 views combined and counting. I mean, before we get to all that and beyond, Kailee, I feel like there's one question I haven't asked you yet so far. We're like 17 minutes in. How are you? I mean, have you even had like the chance to just stop for a moment to take all this in? Because it feels as if you've been on this breakneck pace, especially considering what we've all been through in the last 2 years. I want to give you this moment to take it all in. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm good. I've been so excited about kind of doing so many things at once right now and being busy. And I haven't done interviews in a while. So I'm always excited for this stuff because beginning of COVID, I put out like an EP and then I got dropped from my previous label. So then I was in this limbo for a good year and a half of just like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do now? And with everything already being slow, there's no shows, it was hard to get meetings and figure that stuff out when everything was kind of just halted. And then obviously the rise of TikTok and all this stuff was happening and changing.
TikTok. Yeah. Holy crap.
So I found an indie label that is really supportive of my vision, which is so interesting coming off of a major label to experience that change and that freedom to just do a little bit more specific types of, because Another Day in Paradise is a result of that song is so me, it feels like, and that was one of the first songs I've released that is so candid, I think, and honest. And I think that that's probably why that one's resonating with people the most out of those three, because Loser, I love that song, but I wrote it three years ago. Butterflies was also written a little bit over a year ago. So I've kind of just now been into this space with being just absolutely nothing happening. So now I'm cool. I have all these songs. I have this amazing label that's willing to help me and let me explore that vision. So now it's go with this is an album now, and let's fucking kind of give all of this work that's been happening behind the scenes for 2 years. It's a space to finally not be mine anymore and be something that other people can kind of interpret how they want. So I've been excited about that. But how are you?
I'm good. It's here in Texas, everything's opening up. We just covered here in Interview on Fire. We just covered the So What Festival last weekend. Oh, they're punishing because we covered all 3 days. We did interviews with the artists, did photography. We're still scrambling to get everything together. It was there was a level of overwhelmingness because I didn't know what to do with myself. After being shut out for 2 years, somehow we've all aged 2 years. Somehow it was just 2020, right? And then getting there, it was great. A lot of them, it was their first show. Since the pandemic.
It's so funny. My best friend actually played that festival. I don't know if you saw her, but her name's Cray. And she was I think she was the first act on Friday or something.
Oh, okay. So I had an interview with another band at the time. I missed her. Was she on the Hot Topic stage?
Yeah, she was.
Man, yeah. I do know that name. I didn't know that. Oh
yeah,
man.
That was also her first, that was one of her first shows. I think I can't remember.
It was hot that day.
Yeah, but that was her first, because she's a DJ for a while, and that's her first shows.
Okay.
No, yeah, so sick, but it looked really cool. Especially, I would have died to be on the Hot Topic stage. That looked so cool.
Hey, I'm just saying. So I know the publicist of that festival.
All
There's
right, yeah,
next year too. Just saying.
that's
So,
right.
and this podcast is on all major streams out there. So,
I know a scene
Mike
over here.
Zeimer, if you're listening, Kaylee Morgue, get her now. Trust me, Mike Zeimer. He's the guy who runs that. Great guy, great, amazing people who ran that entire
Yeah, it's
festival. But
the lineup was insane. Like that
oh
was
gosh, yeah.
crazy.
Once Knocked Loose went up there, I don't know if you know them, they're a hardcore band. I had
Yeah.
3 songs in the pit. I'm done. Like I'm out of there. People are like jumping over me.
Oh, all
Like
the
this is
moshing
ridiculous. It's over 100 on a Saturday night. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
Mhm.
But it was just great to experience that again after so
Yeah,
long. And
it's definitely weird though, because I think I've gone to a couple shows or like, oh, I went to Disneyland in October, and I remember just being like, I don't know, like I don't know how to feel around all these people because it was so weird. Like it's just not, or even like we went to the mall
yeah,
yesterday and we never really go out during the weekends, and like there were so many people, and I was like, this feels weird after kind of, I mean, nobody's wearing masks anymore and
yeah,
stuff. So it's like, oh,
exactly.
we're getting back to normalcy.
Yeah, and like knock on wood, obviously. And but did you go to Star Wars Galaxy? I'm curious.
Mm-mm,
Okay,
no.
I wonder because that's the one place I haven't been to. I really want to go so bad,
Yeah.
and I go to LA every year, by the way. So it's like a second home to me. I have friends who live out there, but that's a great way to get back into the whole groove of things, Disneyland. But Kaylee, as we're talking about live music, right? I gotta ask because being an artist, right? I want to stick on that subject of just maybe the touring life, even the live music experience for you personally, because I know you started, 2015, 2017, somewhere in there, but it feels like you've been at this for a while. I know you've played at, I believe, Outside Lands Music and Arts Festival, to name a couple. You've done a couple of North American tours.
Mhm.
Would you say you have a newfound appreciation of the concert life now, considering I know I do,
Yeah.
but or is it just kind of just you're picking up where you left off before the pandemic
Oh
started?
no, I think there's definitely a whole different feeling of appreciation for it, because I think we none of us could have imagined what happened would have happened.
No,
And
of course not. I thought it was gonna be like a week. And
yeah,
that
no,
that was
yeah,
just
like
like, all right,
okay,
cool.
we're
That's
gonna have
not bad. I
to
can I can pick up all the stuff, all the shit that I've just left behind for like so many months. And then, I don't mean to cut you off here, but it was like, yeah, I could do it for like a week. And then once May hit and then June hit, and then
like,
it's like,
oh,
okay, well,
kind of
this
happening for a
sucks.
while.
Yeah, it really hits you on a mental level, actually, as far as
Yeah,
like
it
wellness.
it was definitely weird. I am also kind of like a hypochondriac, so I was like, I don't
Same
um
here.
very worried
Holy
about it.
shit.
Like,
I hate it. I hate it
I
so
I
much.
I still wear masks out. I'm fully vaccinated and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like weary of it and stuff. But yeah, I in general like did not appreciate concerts until I started doing them, because I kind of felt like, wow, there's a whole other element of just like connecting, and even putting a personal song out and having all these people reply to you and stuff. Like that's an amazing feeling, and that's a whole other connection on its own because it's so personal. But there's like this just feeling of togetherness when you do a show, and
Yeah.
you get off stage and you meet all the fans. Like I've always done that, and just talk to everyone and like see people's faces that listen to your music and know the words. Like that's such a different feeling. And also like just as an artist, my inspiration of like what I wanted to make musically completely changed once I started doing shows, because it's like, wow, I love pop music, but I want to like have some other elements to it, because I grew up like my favorite genre is alternative and rock and stuff. So I was like, wow, I think I want to kind of push the envelope a little bit just for the live element. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was my favorite part for a while. And it was definitely weird once COVID hit, because I, to this day, like, I don't think I've done like a headlining show in like 3 years. And I'm gonna finally do one this year for my album release, which I haven't told anybody,
Can't
but I'm
wait. I
excited about it.
cannot wait for that. That's definitely
Um,
exciting.
and yeah, it's definitely weird. Also, when I did do some shows in January on the East Coast, just a few, it was like 4 or 5 shows,
Yeah.
but it was so strange. Like I felt like I'd never performed before. Like I was like, I was shaking. Like the first show I did was really bad. I apologize to anybody in Brooklyn that went to that show. I was like,
I'm sure it was fine.
yeah, well, they all told me that, but I
Yeah.
feel like that it feels so weird because I'm not one of those people that like has that natural like rock star charisma on stage where I'm just like screaming in everyone's faces. Like I'm so introverted and weird that I can't it's hard for me to like pretend like I'm not like that when I'm on stage. So I kind of just started like trying to figure it out. Yeah, during those shows, I was like, how do I perform in a way that feels like authentic to me, that I'm not as scared of like everybody. So I started just like making jokes on stage, and like if I fucked up, I wasn't like, damn, like I just ruined my mystique. Like I kind of just started being
You
like
got,
that.
you got to loosen yourself up in a way, you know. And here's
Yeah,
the thing, being like your authenticity, and that's what I really appreciate about you, because you're not afraid to express yourself. You know, I think that's very important, especially at a time like today. And you're doing that, and being weird. That's a good thing. Okay, let me set that for record.
yeah. I'm not
I'm
trying to. I'm not trying to be like, I'm a weirdo. Like I'm just. I think it's more like my social. Like I feel like my social cues are weird. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, what do I do with my hands?
yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
very
yeah. Do I put my hand in my pocket, or do I just do this? Like,
yeah, they
how do I
offered
like
me
not look awkward?
they
Every
offered,
time, every time.
they offered me a wireless mic at one of the shows. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be awesome. Like I can like jump around and spin and stuff. And then I was like, where would I put my other hand? Because I always hold the cord and like
Yeah,
just the
right.
default nervous, because then I don't have to figure out what I'm doing with my hands. And I said no, because I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do if I just like I'm standing there like hey guys. So it's definitely like an acquired skill. Like you can get better at it, and I have gotten better at it, but it was weird having taken such a long break from it and going back to it and feeling like I'd never done it before, even though I've already had like 35 shows under my belt. So it was very interesting.
We're gonna touch base on when you get to like 100 shows, and then let's see if you feel the same way.
Yes.
Like it's like
Yeah.
almost like a second nature to you. It does come to you. You either get it or you don't. And I feel like you do.
Yeah.
I've seen your live performances. You knock it out of the park every single time. And and I don't know if we gave a shout out to these. I want to give a shout out to one of your influences, Gwen Stafani. I know that's a very strong personal influence to you. And Thriller Records. Have I given a shout out to them, because they're the ones who picked you
I
up?
don't think I've said that, because earlier
Yeah.
they have the indie label I was talking about. They're amazing.
That is them. Now, I want to get to the music. Let's get to it now, because Loser dropped May 11th, and then you had Another Day in Paradise dropped earlier this year, and then follow up to that was Butterflies, was around October. Now, Thriller Records. I know this is kind of like the term that's been thrown around, like that it's a new era for you.
It
know,
is, yeah.
label mates alongside artists like Call Me Charisma, Riley, Avoid. What's the feeling like kicking off this sort of new chapter of your career, Kailee, with a profound and growing label like Thriller at your side?
It's so cool. And like I think, kind of like I was saying earlier, it's just a really great feeling that they are also kind of figuring out, like they're signing new artists. Like I think when they approached me, they only had 2 artists and I didn't know who they were, because they were like, oh, we just have a couple people right now. And it feels good to, I guess, like be growing with them and experiencing the development of them as a label, and that kind of allowing me to have the space to not be boxed into one thing. Because obviously, like you can look at their roster and it is pretty like there's a lot of different people on there. There's like bands, there's more like hip hop, rock stuff.
Yeah, it's a diverse lineup.
Yeah, it's very different. It's like it's kind of hard to pin down. And I think that they also reach out to people that I think aren't really doing like one thing. And it's cool to see them back these people that are kind of genre bending and like not going with the flow. So it's been really cool to associate with all these people, but it's also on a personal level like been so great to talk to Bob Becker, which is my A&R and like the owner of the label. He's so excited and like very hands-on, and it's really refreshing, I think, to like have the owner of the label listen to all this music and talk to you and believe in you in a way that like makes me feel encouraged to keep making music and pursuing this, because it's definitely so hard sometimes. Like during COVID, I definitely was like thinking to myself, like, do I want to do this? Because this is getting really, really fucking hard, like with everything that's going on. And like I said, like music is changing, pop music is changing, fucking TikTok, like everything is kind of adding these weird variables that weren't there when I started. And so I think like Thriller is a huge part of the reason that I feel comfortable still pursuing this and like knowing that I can do it my way, I guess. And like have other people listen to my crazy ideas and be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
And before we get into the nitty gritty of these like breathtaking singles, because a loser along with the other two songs I mentioned. By the way, so I used to own a record label like 10 years ago. So I understand where you're coming from. When it was a small record label, it's something I wanted to start, and we signed artists that
yeah.
we kind of just put that on the side. But I love that story about Thriller. I hope that relationship continues. And I love them
Mhm.
that they picked you up, because again, what's the thing what we said a lot throughout this interview already? Authenticity, right? You have that. And now these songs, I feel like these are also like the follow-ups to your 2018's debut EP, the Medusa EP, which I went back and heard that, and it was just a great release from top to bottom. I mean, if you're gonna release a debut, that's how you do it. There's no mistake why you have over, what is it, 150 million streams across like multiple platforms. I think
That's just on Spotify, which is insane.
yeah, and Siren
But
alone hit 30 million, and all that is counting, and here you are, I mentioned the new era, you have this new album coming up, this new chapter, like I mentioned. Pressure, Kailee, is that something that, sits in your mind? Was there any such thing as pressure for you when you
a
decided to
hundred.
sit down?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole other thing with coming off a major is being like, cool, I don't have um I guess like for people that don't know a lot about like the industry, I think being on a major label, you immediately have access to not only resources, but you have a certain amount of credibility because when you're being co-signed by a major label, they're like, okay, cool. Like if Republic picked up this artist, they're legit. And like you kind of, the door is opened for you. So coming off of that label, I was like, okay, like am I not going to be supported in the same way because I don't have that leverage and like that credibility. And I was worried about also like pivoting musically because I didn't feel like I wanted to make dark pop music anymore. I knew that's not really what's happening in pop. And like I said, I grew up listening to alternative, and like that's where I
Mhm.
feel the most with music. And I really wanted to explore that, but I didn't want to like confuse my fans or risk them not feeling like they connect with a person that I am now. And so there was a lot of pressure, and I think it's really rewarding to see like Another Day in Paradise be accepted the same way. And also like I think I only hit I have like 1 million monthly listeners right now, and that's only happened to me one other time, and that was like in the very beginning when I released the Medusa EP. So I think I've like let a lot of that weight come down because it's like, okay, cool, like these songs are still loved. And um yeah, like Siren is still for some reason like just doing its thing, and that's so awesome to see because I remember literally like convincing my label to make that video and to like give me just some sort of budget, and I went to Phoenix and made it like I had to pull all these favors to make that video happen, and now it's like being my biggest song. It's really it kind of like I'm just like yes, like when I know that it's gonna work sometimes, like it really makes me trust my intuition as an artist to be like, okay, if I believe in a song in a certain way, like I really have to trust my gut. And I think that that's what being with Thriller is helping me do now. So there's definitely pressure, but I'm like giving myself, I guess like I'm trying to be easy on myself because it can be easy to be like, okay, well, I was also 19 when I got signed, and like I was younger and I
Mhm.
had great hair and all these people connected with me, and like I was on a major, and it can feel like as you're getting older, it's scary. But I was like, oh, like I'm still, yeah, like I said, I just hit like 1 million monthly listeners, and I feel like people are going to naturally gravitate to the music they care about, and that's all that matters to me.
Have you
So
seen the YouTube comments for these videos? I mean, all these people are saying, "Thank you, Kailee. You're helping me get through this day." I mean, there's no mistake why the songs are doing what they're doing, because not only is it a great song, but there's a message embedded with it, and I think it's
oh
really
yeah,
helping
it's
a
really
lot of
personal.
people. And especially with, we just finished up Mental Health Awareness Month, in May. This is Pride Month. I think this is an important month for a lot of people, and it's like, and your songs are helping people like that. And
Yeah, I especially because when I started too, like I my writing process was completely different when I before I got signed and like getting onto Republic. I started with sometimes talking about myself and my experiences, but I was like storytelling a lot.
mhm.
And with this most recent group of songs, it's very personal, and I had shown some of them like to, you know, my family, my friends, my boyfriend, and like there's a couple songs that my dad's a therapist, which is amazing,
It's
but
awesome.
he, yeah, there's a couple songs that are just like, this is like so, I feel like I'm just touching on topics that are talked about sometimes, but not in like a way that isn't sometimes like romanticized. You know what I mean? Like I think that
Hmm.
sometimes people will talk about like being bipolar and this and that and make it this like pretty thing, but I had to like face my issues in a way that wasn't pretty. And I think that that kind of shows through with like this album that I'm rolling out. And obviously like Loser, all these songs like Butterflies being about some shitty thing that happened to me, Another Day in Paradise being about living in LA and being like, I don't fit here. And like it seems happy and it seems like whatever, but it came from a place of being like, I don't feel like I belong here. I don't feel like I belong in Phoenix. I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And just turning it into something that can be shared with people. And then The Loser being about like my dad, to this day being like, when are
Hmm.
you going to stop trying to pursue music and go to college? Like you're going to be a loser. And like just making it into music, I think is really, yeah, I think it's hard to ignore as a listener. And like that's what I wanted to do with this album, to make sure that it's not, because I love Medusa, I love Saturn, but I get something else from these songs that are like taking these things and like screaming them, so that way I don't have to feel it by myself,
Yeah.
you know?
And let me add to that, because your experiences, let me just tell you, Kaylee, I started off I started off engineering in college. I grew up in a music family. You know, both of my brothers are drummers. My mom's she's a recording artist from back home. I'm from Bangladesh, by the way. So back home, she's like a singer. And
Yeah.
you know, and I grew up with engineering. And of course, it was just I was told by, you know, my elderly, you know, stepdad be like, hey, you need to do this, this, this. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try. And by the way, I'm not saying if you want to do engineering out there, do engineering, of course, you know. But but I found my groove. I wanted to do music, you know. It's that's why I'm talking to amazing people like you who have a passion for what you do. That's why I wanted to create this outlet for people to, you know, talk about what they want to do. And now I think we have a few we're approaching the last part of our interview, but I want to go ahead and also want to, as I'm hearing you, hear me out here, because the way you sing and the way you deliver your, you know, your tones, your lyrics, I got a mix in between Sasha Sloan and Ella Voss, Jaira Burns, and like Olivia Bryan. I feel like if all four like came together, it's like I would get Kailee Morgue. I'm like, man, this is like, I went back and heard their songs also. It has a almost like an extension of you in there. But
It's so
anyway, that's
funny, yeah, because I like met like half of those people, but
dude, that's crazy.
but I think I actually met Ella Voss and Olivia Bryan the same day at was it Bumbershoot or something like that, but
Okay.
or Outside Lands, one of the two. But yeah, no, sometimes it's just like the music stuff is like undeniable. Like if you can try to pursue other things, but it's like what you want to
Yeah.
do, or not just music, but yeah, like whatever like you really want to do, it's not going to be fulfilling until like it's just undeniable. Like you have to try to do it. So yeah, just wanted to
Yeah.
say that for
No,
people that are
no.
like,
I love that you mentioned that. And then we've done a lot of shout outs this on this interview, but also shout out to CJ Barron and Joel Little, because
yes,
they took a big part. And you've done collaborations, I believe, with Quinn and Waylon, I believe. Well, no, Wheaton. Sorry, I can't even
and
like
yeah,
I can't think
and
straight today. But yeah,
oh, no,
like
it's a
it's
lot
just
of people.
a lot of people that you've worked with. And you know, and here's the thing, you know, it's I think it's important for someone to stand up for who they are, and you've done that throughout your career, you know. And I know we've covered a good amount on this awesome conversation. I can't till we I want to do this again one day, you know, hopefully here
I'd love
when you
to.
actually when you're actually here in Dallas. But I want to thank you, you know, so much for sharing your story and what Kailee Morgue is all about, you know, from the different experiences and perspectives in your timeline you have taken in, which we have discussed about. You know, you're still young, yet you've experienced plenty within that timeline, you know, from touring, the growing fan base, the recognition from these labels, working with those amazing producers and the collaborations with other talented artists. You know, I remember when you said that before you got signed, that you wrote for yourself, you know. I
Mhm.
feel and I hope that you're still doing that. It's an extension of who you
Yeah.
are. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I'm excited to see where you go from here, Kailee. This is definitely something you have the passion for. And the truth is, for what I'm saying, you've experienced plenty. Have your aspirations as a musician, or hell, as a human being, have they changed or evolved since when you first started performing in the industry? Like, do you see things differently today?
Yes,
Loaded
that's like,
question.
yeah.
I'm gonna
I was
mute
literally,
myself here. I'm gonna drink my coffee.
yeah, I think so many things have changed because it's like the world has changed with what's going on. Music has changed. I've changed. So it's so many different things. And I was 18 when I kind of started really getting into music professionally, and now I'm 23. And I think as a person, yeah, like I started writing for me, and then as soon as I got signed to a major, I felt like I was trying to write what was catchy and like what was a cool story and stuff. And now I write for me again because I was like, I have to. And I think that that's it's kind of what I was just saying like a couple of minutes ago. Like it's an undeniable thing. Like I feel myself like wanting to talk about things, and I'm like, why do I always like keep thinking about lines about this? And like I kind of have to have that moment to not think about those things anymore. Like I have to write it a certain way, and
Mhm.
sometimes, yeah. So I think I kind of got back to a place where I'm writing for myself, and yeah, I think when I started, I was a little bit disconnected with what music meant to me, and I was a little bit more focused on just like how do I make this work as a career? How do I, and I still think about that bit in a different way. Like at the time I was just like, how do I make people like me? How do I be like prettier? And how do I be more charismatic? And like forming myself into like a pop star version of me, and feeling like I had to be a fucking like bubblegum, like I had to be more this and that if I wanted to be a Taylor Swift, if I wanted to be an Ariana Grande, if I wanted to be something that big. And I think now I'm like, I don't think I will ever like be the type of person to fit that mold. And if I for some reason blow up as an artist on a mass level, it's going to be for like being me and not trying to be this or that. So I think my aspirations have changed as far as like kind of letting this take me as far as it will go by just being me, and not like trying
Mhm.
to get to this level by not being me, you know? So and I'm less concerned with what I look like and how I like talk during interviews and how I perform, because I'm like, as long as I feel good doing it and like people see me, I think that's more important than being a version of myself that I know people will see through. And yeah, so like whenever I was like, I don't need to dye my hair crazy colors, I don't need to do all that shit to be noticed.
Yeah,
Like I
because you're
just
driving my friends crazy with that.
what is that hair color? But yeah, no, I do love dyeing my hair. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, as I get older, I find less joy from doing those things, because I feel like that's a totally healthy thing for a lot of people. But for me, I know like I'm running from something when I keep changing myself. So yeah, my aspirations with music have definitely become more central to like, who am I not only as an artist, but when I'm not making music, who is that person? And like, how do I make that person part of my artist persona, so that like there's not a false version of me that people are looking up to? Because I also, yeah, I think so many artists are like untouchable and very like put on a pedestal, and like people are, yeah, they're just like a god, and I'm like
Mm.
definitely not not like that. So I was like, yeah, I can't really pretend to be like this person that like other people wish they were. Like, I'm just kind of supposed to reflect like how people actually feel, you know, and hold a mirror to them, so that they don't feel like they're going through those like, yeah, uglier emotions or things that are viewed in this bad way, but like kind of exposing people to it. So it's like, hey, we can talk about that too, like we can go over that. You know.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like you are your own culture, Kaylee. It's that's what I love about your music and who you are, because you stand out from that crowd. There's so many artists trying to come into the scene, and I feel like that room kind of get convoluted, right? It gets a lot of people try to go in there, but you're doing it the way you're doing it, and I feel like no one's doing it the way you're doing it. That's what makes you stand out, because not
Yeah,
only
well, okay, yeah, it's like if everyone's doing it how they do it, like that's what makes you stand out. It's not like nobody's
exactly.
doing it like me. It's kind of like that's why I always say to artists, like when they ask me for advice and stuff, I'm like, that's why people like Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, like these artists, like everyone, this artist will blow up like Billie did. And then you have all these labels and be like, okay, we'll just be Billie Eilish and just do like this type of thing that she was doing. But it's like the reason that worked is because Billie was being Billie. And like, that's kind of what I was trying to say. It's like, if I am to blow up one day or like be this mass artist like that, it would be because I'm being Kailee. And like, that's why people connect with Billie, because she's just being herself, and she's changed pop music because she didn't like go make all these songs that sound like
Mhm.
what would have been on the radio. She like changed what radio
Yeah.
sounded like because
Yeah.
Mhm.
And not only that, but you're also setting an example, I feel like, for the younger musicians out there, especially females, aspiring to come into the scene. And
Mhm.
it's really great, Kailee. You keep being yourself. I feel like I cannot stress that enough, because I grew up trying to be like other people, and I'm just like, no, this is not who I am. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Talking to people like you, and it also serves as an inspiration back, doing what you're doing at a young age. And I hope it's something that you can look back on and see how you've grown, and and maturely too. And you're doing it. You have the right group of people around you who have the same passion. And I mentioned all the other shout outs, but anyway, I love that answer. I feel like we could go on forever about that topic, and I think it's
Sure.
important to just push everything aside, kind of re-examine yourself, why you do what you do, and go back into it with the refocused image. It's you
Mhm.
do lose track of yourself at some point, the more successful
Yeah.
you are,
And
and
just as like everybody does, like there's like
yeah,
that identity issue right now is crazy. And like, yeah, mental health is such a big thing in the world right now. Like everyone's kind of like, who am I actually?
yeah.
So
And I'm I'm no stranger to that, and I love that you mentioned it's that, and your songs really were relevant with me, and I mentioned all the other fans. It's the thing of beauty. I can't wait for your album to drop. I was going to ask one last question real quick. I don't know if these songs can serve as like a sneak peek into what's to come, or are we
mhm.
just barely scratching the surface here? I don't know what you can and cannot say.
So
Like one
yeah,
loaded
so
question after another, right?
Another Day in Paradise and Loser are on there. Butterflies isn't on there because Butterflies was actually supposed to be on an EP that I made,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
um and then we kind of were just like, this is turning into an album. And then I was like,
Yeah.
as a collection of songs, like Butterflies didn't really fit to me. But so yeah, I would say it's a pretty good reflection of what's going to be on the album, because some of it is a little bit softer acoustic, like Another Day in Paradise, and some of it's
Yeah.
like the next song that's coming out in June. So it's like a few weeks away, by the way, is another like rock song. So I think once these three songs are out,
Yeah.
Another Day in this one, it's going to be a pretty good reflection of like what's going to be on the album. But I still don't know if anyone's going to like really expect it, because there's some songs on there that like didn't really make sense as singles, but are just so like their own thing. I just pulled from so much for this album. I pulled from Alanis and Liz Phair,
Oh
Blink
my gosh.
182.
You're talking to like the perfect person for that. Like, it's like, okay, all right. That's just the excitement is building up. I feel like we need to like I don't know if so you don't have a title yet. I'm sure you do, but you can't say
I
it.
do. I can't share it, but
That's
we
okay.
actually have
That's
a
okay.
cover and everything.
It's
I'm
always
so
nice to
excited.
have things like that to look forward to. So and it's really amazing to see, and I can't wait for the album to drop. Now, all right, the last part of the interview. I know we got like 5 minutes, I think. Do we have
Oh
five
God,
minutes?
is
Okay.
this a surprise?
This is a surprise. All right. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, you're good. Oh, you're getting all like adjusted on the seat. Oh, if you want, if
I
you,
have anxiety.
no, you're fine. Trust me. This is gonna be great. All right, we're gonna do something fun here called the lightning round. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down the list, Kailee. You just have to
Okay.
think quick on your feet. You have to pick one or the other. All right. I'm gonna ask you a question. You have to pick one or the other. Okay.
Okay.
Some of them are very simple. Some of them are just downright silly, but that's the
I
best
just
part.
have
All right.
okay.
You have to. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're gonna do a test question first. All right. What's the capital of Arizona?
What is that? What do you mean? Why are you making this like? Is this supposed to be a quiz?
Almost. All right.
Is it?
It's
Because I live there.
yes, it is.
Okay, if it
Okay.
wasn't, okay. But to be fair, just so everyone watching knows, I never learned any. I didn't take any sort of like why. I never learned any sort of geography, and like I don't even know what states. So if that's what these questions are, I'm about to look
All right.
so dumb.
All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Green or blue?
Blue. No, I know green. That's my favorite color, but I'm wearing both of them. Okay, sorry.
Exactly. Vegan or meat?
Meat. Sorry.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Cats or dogs?
I have both. Cats.
All right. Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings?
I've never seen Game of Thrones, so Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Oof. Okay, we'll touch back on that later. All right. Now I'm in Texas, so this is actually debate here, believe it or not. Would you say pecan pie or pecan pie?
Pecan pie.
Yeah.
What's the right answer?
So
Okay, cool.
so I've heard on like if you're from like the northeast, people say pecan, But if you're here, like more
It
like
sounds
the
like a
like the
bird.
Midwest, that does sound like a bird. Midwest or like the West, like towards like the West Coast, it's pecan. I say pecan, but
So
it's
yeah,
actually
and
pretty
that's
it's
like
actually
my
pretty
cat.
evenly divided. All right. These get harder. Ramen or sushi?
Wait, sorry.
Ramen or sushi?
Wait, sushi.
I know you love both. So all right, here we go.
That's my favorite kind of food. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Would you rather climb a mountain or jump from a plane?
Climb a mountain.
Okay.
I'm
I've jumped
so
from a plane
scared.
before, twice actually. It's not that bad.
I
So
would like crap my pants probably. I like literally. I'm so scared of
I already
heights.
booked my like next skydive. That's how crazy I am. All right. I have no fear of heights, but okay.
Adrenaline junkie.
Country or hip hop?
Country.
All
That's
right.
hot take. I fucking love country.
All right. Now, I know you love movies. I love this question. If you were to spend one day, think about this question. If you were to spend one day in the world of the last movie you watched, where would you be and would you survive?
The last movie I watched was A Hard Day's Night. So I would be on a train with the Beatles. I think I would survive, but it would be
That
very
is
interesting.
wow. I would actually love to see that. All right. Medusa or loser?
Medusa. Fun fact: I don't really like Loser, but
Really? I love that song.
nobody heard that. Nobody heard that.
All right. Halloween or Christmas?
Halloween. Sorry.
Oh,
there's people
hell
in
yeah.
here.
Hell yeah. My birthday's in October, so it's like at the perfect time.
My
Okay.
dad's birthday is Halloween, so it's insane.
Oh, wow. Okay. LA or New York?
LA.
Would you rather be able to move things with your mind or know the future?
Move things with my mind. Then I
Yeah.
can just like pick up the remote.
Okay.
So,
Okay. These get really silly. If Voldemort offered to give you a hug, would you accept?
no, I don't really like hugs anyways. Like, don't touch me.
It's like change Tom Riddle's life in an instant. Poor Voldemort. All right. Would you rather speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
I am not like a huge traveler or like I feel like I would want to talk to animals because I still like I literally Google like what does it mean when my cat like does this because I want to know that he like loves me.
Same here. Yeah, I feel like my dog's the same way. And it's like I talk to my dogs, talk to my pets. I guess I would speak every language in the world. So that's another thing, that's like another whole different, yeah, like it's a different side to it. But I love that question. All right, last one. I love this one. There's a time machine in front of you, Kailee. It says the destination is the first concert you've ever attended. Where are you, and what do you remember the most about this day? And do you take the trip?
It was a One Direction concert.
That's awesome.
One Direction concert. What I remember the most is that me and my little sister literally got our makeup done to go there, and like we were so far in the back, and like I was convinced that like Harry Styles was gonna see me and fall in love with me, and I was like 16. I was like, I'm gonna marry that man. So yeah, that was my first concert. Would I go? I don't think so because we were so far that like I remember leaving there being like, I feel like I didn't like I could have just watched this on TV because it felt like you're so far.
And I love asking this question because it's like I don't know if you're a sentimental person like me. Do you like have like the ticket stub from that day? Do you have like pictures that you've taken?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm a hoarder.
Okay. Around the room, around you right now, what's one thing that means a lot to you? I know you mentioned your dog, your and your cat. What is one thing around you that means a lot to you?
Oh my god, I have so
right now?
many things in here. This is like my kitchen / my living room, so I'll show you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, there's my babies.
Oh wow, there we go.
I don't know if you can see like way back there underneath this blanket is my altar. So that's like my witch altar. And then like over here, I've got like my third eye blind, no doubt posters.
Oh my god. That is
my whole
I love that.
And like this entire wall over here is like all this whole room is like my safe space. Like
That's like, yeah, I love that room. What is that poster in the corner? What is that? The blanket, the with the
this
no
one?
on that. Yeah, what is that?
It's just like I don't really I just my dad asked me every year, my dad's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I'll just pick something and he'll get it. And I just saw this like online and I was like, yeah, vampire blanket. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in my room. So
it's on top of your witch altar. So that's like perfect too.
Yeah, it used
goes
to be
well.
like I got it originally just to like cover a window in my old apartment because it was too bright, and now like it just I honestly forget it's there, and I'll like take pictures in there, and people will be like, "There's like a person screaming behind you."
Hey, at least you're not alone. Well, you have your pets, but it's like at least there's another person in there. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
you
I'm
know,
also like,
it's like,
I'm not easily spooked or anything, so I have a lot of like weird stuff in
oh,
here. That
dude, I can't watch like I couldn't even watch The Conjuring after like my ex made me watch it with her, and
I
I'm just
love
like,
that. I love The
oh
Conjuring.
my god, like every 2 hours I'll wake up thinking that lady was like on the ceiling or something like that. And I'm just
Oh,
like,
oh
oh my
yeah.
god, it was just
Oh no. Okay, wait. I do have to admit that part in trigger or not trigger warning. Spoiler alert, guys. If you haven't seen Hereditary, that part where the lady's like the mom is in the corner of the room. To this day, I will
no,
walk in my bedroom.
no.
It
So
freaks me
there's
out.
there's a lamp here. I've never actually showed this to anyone. There's like a lamp here, so I keep this on every time I've left this on like since I went to bed for like the last like 10-15 years, and
Man,
because of that, and I love this movie today, even though it scared me back then. This is the Blair Witch Project. Anyway,
I still haven't seen that.
oh, it's a great movie. I mean, at the time it was shot, and what all the director did it. They gave three people who have no acting experience a
Yeah.
camera and hey, just go in the woods and just shoot this. That's it.
You
That is all that is.
have you seen? Sorry, whole other tangent here.
It's all good.
Have you seen Creep or like Behind the Mask or like any of those like there's this movie called Creep. If you haven't seen it, there's one and two, and it's a very similar feeling. Like I love horror movies that are low budget and just like camcorder type shit because
Like
it's
Lights
so
Out almost.
it's I haven't seen Lights Out, but
Ooh.
Creep is basically like he hires this person to come take video footage of him. He like makes some excuse, but he's like he hires this person. It's like, hey, can you
Yeah.
come? Like, I think he says like he's dying or something, and like he wants to like have this kind of like little film of him, but he
Okay.
like ends up trying to like manipulate this person and kill them. So I love that vibe because it's like it's so
I'm looking this up right now.
DIY that it's fucking scary. Yeah, it's really good.
Um, okay, 2014. Yeah, Lights Out. There's a short film on YouTube
Mhm.
called Lights Out. Watch it if you get a
I haven't
moment.
seen that
It's like
actually.
maybe 10 minutes. I couldn't I can't do that stuff. I don't know why, but I love a movie like 28 Days Later and The Shining.
Oh yeah,
I love those movies.
my favorite like genre of movies is definitely horror.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm a closeted like horror fan, and slowly I'm starting to appreciate it. But
I can't see them in theaters because it freaking scares me, but it's still my favorite genre.
what was the movie that I saw in theaters? I was just like, oh, I think it was The Devil Inside. Oh God, my friends made me go watch it.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, we're gonna have to like stay in touch. We have to like I'm gonna sing
No,
like
we
a
should
horror.
do this and like we should do this like
We
after
should
the
we should
album
we should
releases.
yeah, we should do like a separate interview where we just talk about there's literally like a core like I went to film school, okay? So I have a knack for like
Yeah.
cinematography. There's a like a corner, you can't see it, but it's just filled with movies on my wall. Like it's insane. So
Yeah, if I could give you a tour, my
oh my
boyfriend,
gosh.
I live with my boyfriend and he collects DVD box sets and like he has so many. Like we have an entire he just collects them and like his favorite genre is also horror. So he has like these like exclusive like Halloween ones. He has like these Rob Zombie ones, like crazy rare ones. It's
So a
crazy.
couple movies that are coming out that I do want to see. We're gonna end it here in a minute, but what is it? Men that's coming out. Have you seen
Yeah.
the trailer for that? Holy mother! And then
I think I did, yeah.
Nope by
No,
Jordan
I'm so
Peele.
excited for it.
We watched the
I still
trailer.
need to see I need to see X. Have you seen X?
No, that's actually out on Blu-ray now. So
Yeah,
I want
know.
to see that too. But
Like I'm already everyone's pulling inspo from that girl in that movie that wears like overalls and stuff. And I'm like,
yeah.
I need to watch that.
Oh, and like A24, those movies are really like
Amazing.
those are cerebral movies, but there's so many that I want to yeah, nope. That trailer, every time you watch that trailer, it's just like there's something new that you missed every time.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
It looks like it's about everything, but then it looks like it's about nothing. I love it when trailers don't give anything out. There's also again, okay, so again, I know we were like past our time, but Dark City dropped in 1998. That movie to this day, best trailer ever. You cannot change my mind one way or the other.
Okay, I'm gonna
watch that trailer. It does not get from the compositions, from the cinematography, the lighting, the soundtrack. Like it will give you goosebumps. It's with Kiefer Sutherland and Jennifer Connelly. I think John Hurt or William Hurt, one of the Hurt brothers. But
yeah,
that
I have
movie
so many movies to catch up on. I'll definitely add it to the list.
That's an old one. Dark City is an old one, but watch the trailer for that. I'll probably just DM it to you so you can see it, just so you can get. I feel like you would appreciate that. So anyway, Kailee, this has been awesome. I know I feel like we need to have like our own podcast at this point. But
No,
do
we
you
can't.
have any like last words? Just any shout outs, anything like to
Uh,
plug in or mention? This will come out in like a couple weeks. I'm gonna make sure this is before July hits. So it like I
oh,
think you have
perfect.
another one
Okay, and I
coming
guess
out.
I can say, because I think I'm gonna announce in like a week the next single. So
Yeah.
Trainwreck is coming out. It's
Okay.
coming out June. Watch me say the wrong date. 28th, I think. It's the whatever. It's like the
What
last
I'm
one.
gonna do, I'm gonna pick like the last day of June just to be on the safe side. But
Oh, okay, then it's already out then. So it whatever. This is past
yeah.
me telling future me.
This is a time machine. We've been in a time machine this entire interview.
Yeah,
So
this is entire thing is a dream. And Trainwreck is either about to be out or it is out, and you
yeah.
can listen to it on all platforms. This is my third single for my album that's coming out later this year. I'm so excited about it. Shout out to my new manager, fucking awesome. Thriller Records, my boyfriend Ricky himself, that's also an artist. He's amazing. And also thank you so much for having me, because I cannot like I love talking to people about also just movies and everything.
Yeah.
No,
I appreciate you, because it's never just about an interview for me. You know, it's always about having the authenticity within the artist, talk about what they want to do, because I feel like we're not Rolling Stone, we're not Revolver, which is great. I love those publications, but it's just, I like to dive in deep into what makes you you. And I'm glad you were able to talk about it. So
of course, yeah. Well, I'm going to do, hopefully, let's next year. So what? And then we can do another interview.
at So What? I've done interviews. So I did interviews at the festival. It was absolutely amazing. Like I've never covered a festival like this, and the press room is so nice, by the way. It's like away from the heat. You get like free water. Trust me, like you're an artist, so you're gonna get all the perks. So it's gonna be great navigating the entire. So Kailee, let's stay in touch on the socials. I would love that. And
I'd love to.
I will keep you posted when this episode drops. It's gonna look really cool. We're gonna put a really cool render around we'll put an image that's like the most recent one, not like a throwback.
Oh yeah, no, I don't care. I don't care.
For anyone who doesn't know, I promoted the episode with Kailee with green hair. So who knows?
I wasn't salty at all. I was literally just like
it was so funny though. It was like the perfect icebreaker. It's like, oh my god, this is great. And then like my brother's girlfriend was like DMing me, oh my god, I want her hair like now. And her name is Olivia, so shout out to Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
she's the sweetest. But here's to a great release for you, Kailee. I wish you nothing but success for down the road. It's almost like a proud moment for me, because I've been following your work since your Medusa days, and to see where you are right now, it really is an amazing thing to see. It's again, I feel like, again, I sound like a broken record, but that's why I like to have these conversations. I've done maybe over 500 interviews.
Yeah, this is so fun. I've only done like one or two other interviews that are this chill, like if we talk, and I always enjoy it. So thank you so much.
And next time we'll probably do like the lyric game where I read a lyric and you have to guess song. Yeah. Trust me, I had artists who say, oh yeah, I'll get it, and then when I read it, they don't get any song.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
But then it's like the opposite. It's like, oh, I won't get any song, and then when I read a lyric, they get every song on that list. It's always the opposite. So it's you never know. But everyone who is listening, this is the amazing Kailee Morgue. Loser, Another Day in Paradise, and Butterflies is out now. Do us a favor, buy the tracks, buy the albums, buy the the EP, because the bands can't do it without your help. Keep those listens coming. Shout out to Thriller Records. Trainwreck is technically out now, considering, because by the time this episode will come out. And don't forget, you can listen to this podcast on all major podcast streams out there. Listen to us on intervieweronfire.com. Check us out. Kailee, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Much love. Have a great release out there. Again, I'll keep you posted when this out. We'll stay in touch. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Spirit fingers. All right. Bye bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Interview Under Fire podcast. If you guys liked what you heard, please please subscribe and share our channel. And please leave a 5-star review, as that helps us tremendously. If you'd like to check out more, visit www.interviewunderfire.com or our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And finally, we want to thank you all for the support you've been giving us. Keep it burning.